won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
What up? What up? What up? And welcome back to Pregaming here at Sports Money, the premier destination to get all that last-minute information you need to help make informed betting decisions. That is what we are here to do. It is our time to shine, not just because it's 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, but because we have all sports in play post the baseball season here, college basketball, college football, the NBA, the NHL, the UFC, you name it, we got it. And we're going to be capping it like crazy the rest of the fall into winter. Just a short couple of weeks away from Thanksgiving. Can you believe it already? Time flies when you're making bets, doesn't it? Excited for the show tonight, you guys. We've got a smaller hockey card, but I've still got two plays I really like in this card this evening here. Of course, I've got three. I might have had a fourth. Actually, I'm sorry. I've got three plays in the NHL. I forgot to get one on the screen. Then I've got three plays in college hoops. We're back with one of our trends from last year. It's cashed 17 straight times. We're back. Let's see. Two NBA games. Well, it's a smattering of NBA. I had to take a player prop. I'm going to give you guys an official player prop here. And then Eagles and Packers. Shout out to all you guys. We're going to move faster here with the fall. I told you guys, want to be done. I'd like to be done by 6:45. So going to start this thing. Going to try to push it up 5-10 minutes sooner. And appreciate all you guys dropping in hammers. Says you can blame me for the Sean Fox show last night. He was pushing me to go live. I get it. We're not doing it. I told you guys it's time to rest and recharge. Take the 2 days to get your batteries recharged so that we can come back and fire. It's an algorithm thing. You know, I told you guys, likes go down, shows go off. So, you know, not to punish anybody, but it's hurting us across the algorithm. We have more content than ever, and we have a third less views, 30 days over 30 days. So everybody, it's incumbent for everybody to do their part to smash that thumbs up button so that we can get moving forward. Look, maybe I'm a little too strategic. Maybe I'm a little too strategic about the way we go after it, but felt like a good time. You know, we're right smack dab in the middle, and no blame, no fault. It's bad NFL games. Last night was no different. And so rather than force fucking a shit NFL game into our metrics, figured, well, just take the game off, take the night off, let everybody enjoy a Sunday night, reconnect to society, whether it be your friends, your family, or your cat. It doesn't make a difference. And we won't have another show tonight either. We'll have tonight off as well. But we'll be back Thursday. We'll be back. We'll be ready to attack for Thursday night football. It's the Jets and the Patriots. And now you might be saying, well, there's a shit football game. But in all fairness, look, both those teams won in the AFC East this weekend. In fact, three teams win in the AFC East, not the Buffalo Bills. So that was sad. But hey, I went 2-1 on the best bets that we gave you guys yesterday at the Betting Blitz show there on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. We got done right by noon. It was a less than an hour show for you guys to go through every single game on the card. Told you guys Dolphins were going to win that game. Told everybody. Told my brother the night before that Dolphins were going to win that game. Actually, I think it was the morning before. I think I told him Friday that was going to happen. I was wrong on the Baltimore side of things, sadly, and Cleveland, Cleveland got their cheeks pushed in. But look, still some good spots out there. The New Orleans Saints continue to find some of those stanky dogs. Thinking about that, it kind of motivated me to say wrong team's favorite segment. Maybe a wrong team's favorite segment comes into puts a little onus on me to find a spot that the wrong team's favored on, but I think we can do it. I think we can have a good time doing it. So in any event, a fun card this evening. And look, we last left this programming on Friday. What did we do on Friday? 10 plays given out, 8 and 2 to push us into the weekend. What a glorious run it was. We did not cash Valpo. We had 33 points in our back pocket. They lost by almost 50, 48 points to be exact. They got blown out by Kentucky. On the other side of things, we lost the under in the Notre Dame game. Notre Dame put up 102 points. Probably not going to go under if a team's putting up 100 points. That was the Notre Dame game. But we cashed the under in Virginia. Our boys back at home on the home court. We've got Stephen fucking Austin comes through for us. Wrong team favorite. Granted, they were only getting 1 point, but they blew out them boys 90-65. We had the Houston Cougars in college football, 30-27 final in that game. We had the Tulane in the over spot. That was an easy casher for us there. We had the Minnesota Timberwolves, Chicago Blackhawks, the San Jose Sharks at a plus 165 was big money out there. And then we closed out the night with the over 228 in the Golden State Denver game. Plus 6.72 units here from Friday's show. And then we ping-ponged it around for the Gold Club on Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, we're doing that. I'm putting a plays together for our friends on the Gold Club out there. If you guys take the opportunity to support us, there's a lot of ways to do it. You know, the best way, I think the easiest, the most efficient way for you, make sure you don't miss anything, you get them as soon as they drop, is to go over to Winnable. Here's the deal. When I post a play on Winnable, it goes out, boom, you get a notification right away. Surprisingly, I was looking at some of these metrics as I was getting into the strategy den of the YouTube algorithm. They changed the algorithm. So there's some big things that are going on out there that we had to be a point or in tune with. Only 16% of you guys have your notifications turned on for when we go live. Crazy. I mean, you know, we're on the verge of what? 1,800 subs. So on our way to getting to 2,000. So I guess that's still a couple hundred people, but this is why the most efficient way to be notified of plays when they drop and you don't miss line movement is through Winnable. They've got the ability to set up text alerts. Plenty of free plays out there. I've got 2 free plays sitting out there right now. You haven't checked them out already? Go get them. And make sure you turn those text alerts on because, again, you don't get bogged down. We don't throw spam and a bunch of bullshit at you. Why would you want to know shows when they go live here on the Sports Money Network? But yet only 16%, which I found alarming. 16%. Have the notifications turned on. So again, Winnable is the best way to get it. You'll also get my best bets. Some people say, hey, do you go heavier on some plays than others? I give every play out. I track everything. I grade it all at one unit. You guys know that. We've talked about that time and again. But some plays I like a lot more. And so you want to know what my best bets are. And there's some unique plays that are different from what you see here at the show. Sometimes these are some first cut plays that, you know, I maybe lean to a little bit more than others, but still plays I've got involved. Maybe they're just part of teasers and round robins and shit like that, but you can certainly get all the best bets, all the action over at Winnable. And guys, it's less than $1 a day, literally. You know, I just heard somebody today marketing $1 a play for a year. $1 a play for a year. You know, we're up over 45 units on the season, and you don't want to miss out on that action. So give Winnable consideration if you haven't already. Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
There it is. There you have it. Very easy to sign up. Quick, efficient process. And 100 people already between the premium plays and the free plays out there have jumped on Winnable. So I appreciate you guys joining, supporting. And just know I bring my very best. We might not win every day, but goddamn, I try to. Try to win every play we put out there. And, you know, I'm not afraid to take some long shots either. Take a couple bombs. We put some play. We count them all. You know, just remember. When you're getting things north of plus 1,000, you want to kind of not dump your whole bankroll on it, right? We're not big moonshot people, but we're not big 10-unit chase people either. So just keep that in mind as you manage your bankrolls here. But let's get to it, you guys. Big game tonight, Monday Night Football. Maybe you heard about it. Maybe you're familiar with one Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers. We'll talk about that game to close the show. I'll talk to you guys about some props. I'll talk to you about you. You don't need to. Spoiler alert. I know how much we like our spoiler alerts. Eagles are going to win this game, and I'll tell you why. It's the best team in football, and it's not. I mean, it is my opinion, but it's objective. It's not subjective. You know, did you ever see that? Was it Bernie Mac did that commercial or that stand-up skit? And he's like, what's the difference between, I can't remember what the two pieces were now. Shit. I saw it come up on my Twitter timeline the other day. Anyways, that's a good one. Maybe I'll have to post that to our community post. It's a funny, anyhow, you know, objective, looking at it without the rose-colored glasses that are my team and telling you that in all facets of the game, and we'll break it down. I'll tell you exactly. You want to look at defense? I'll tell you why they're going to dominate. You want to look at offense? I'll tell you why they're going to want to dominate. You want to look at which team just doesn't care about their players' safety and health? I'll tell you why they're going to dominate. Because we know them Packers can be super soft. And that's the way we're going to get after it, you guys. So we are moving forward. We are moving faster. It's time, you guys, though. You know the deal. God damn, it's important to hit that thumbs up button. It's never been, we are in a battle with YouTube now to get this show promoted, to get in the algorithm, to continue to grow this thing and attract new eyeballs. And it's likes, it's thumbs up. 29 of them last night. Not good enough. 39, 49, 59. We get to almost 100 when we do the live shows for the primetime games. But the number of you guys that are here watching this free plays, look, you don't want to join Winnable? You don't want to become a silver or a gold member? The only thing we need you to do is smash that thumbs up button. It's a quick, easy whack. We click it, we get back to business, and we continue to move the channel forward. Everyone's got a responsibility to help grow this network. I need you guys to take a second if you haven't done so. It's that important that we're going to stop again and make every ride. Really honed in now. The fastest 50 in football on Sundays with my guy, the Shark. So I like to move things along faster here. We're right on time. It's that time of the show. Get your best bets in the chat. I want to recognize what you guys are on. Let's keep it moving forward. Let's see what you guys have going on. And let's get some winners out there, man. Get them out there today. I don't want to have to embarrass anybody that puts them out there tomorrow and says, I had that. Well, nobody knew you had that. You're not his dog. We don't need to pat you on the head and say, good boy. Put some winners out there we can all play. I'll shout them out to you guys here. Shout out to Bobby Max in the house. Robert McCormick says, good evening. There's Hammers checking in. And it's all good. Just a miscommunication in the strategy out there. Hammers, that's all. AOD's in the house. He says, let's go, Mike. Joe T's here checking in. He's giving the Oilers Jackets over 6.5. He also likes the first period. Both teams to score at plus 140. Appreciate Jover. There's Irish King. Says NHL's free money on a weak heater. Nice, my dude. Nice. You're good, Hammers. Cactus Black says, fuck the Packers. True Teller's here. What up, True Teller? 9 Legacy says, Money Mike, what's the paid in full parlay of the day? 4 legs, baby. My NBA is 2 legs, but I'll give you 2 more that you can throw in there. Hammer says it was freaking awful. You know, it's just like when the NBA and the NFL tell you their ratings are down. It's the same thing when it comes to this kind of programming there. And we're smack dab in the middle. I think it's that equilibrium point. Not to bore you guys with the details, but look, excitement for football. Then you kind of hit that peak and it's got nowhere to go but down. And when you get a bunch of bad games, that ain't good. Down is not the direction we want to go. So the intersecting point is too much football and not enough thumbs up. And then somehow we end up literally getting a big red X on us. So we figured we'd take a couple days, let everybody enjoy a few days off. I don't mind a few days off. I don't mind a Sunday night saying, hey, you know what? We've been doing it every week. I don't mind a Monday night saying, you know what? We've been doing it every week, and we'll be back doing it again to finish off the season. But very important to recharge, regroup, so that we can attack the books for the second half of football. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mikey? Let's get after it today. The biggest jewel. Says, whoa now, family. What up, the biggest jewel? JP's he's checking in. He said, what up, motherfuckers? Let's go, JPZ. David's here. The biggest jewels. Good luck, everyone. And let's get to the money. Let's get to the money. Stop Geo Engineering's here. Irish King says, Barkley and Jacobs both to score. I sit here and talk to you guys about this fucking football game for 50 minutes if you want. Gooey McDougal. Cheers and bull. Packers over 1.5 field goals. Eagles first half money line and Eagles money line. Peter Grassi says, I got all winnable alerts. Thank you. Shout out to you, Peter. Appreciate your support, my friend. Yep, Hammer says, screw the Packers. Go Eagles. Yes, it is Hammers. Hypothetical versus realist. Realistic question and a hypothetical question. Go ask your mom if she'd sleep with the next door neighbor for $250,000. Now go ask your sister if she would sleep with the mailman for $250,000. And he goes, hypothetically, we should be up $500,000, but realistically, we live with sluts or something like that. It's fucking great. That's exactly what it was, Hammers. Peter Grassi says Philly and over tease him easy money. Abel A like Luca over 17.5 rebounds and assists. There's FSAP Niner in the house. Ricky Levine says pimp slap Devils under Rangers over. Hit the like button. Hell yeah, that's it. Shout out, 2 plays, and a reminder for everybody to smash the like button. Blake M says Goddard anytime touchdown plus 220. Jay Bates says gave it out Friday. I'll try again. Laurie Marketing under 24.5 points, been under versus Timberwolves 15 straight. Now there's Big Scott says, what's good, Mikey? New week, new money. SIU Edwardsville Moneyline. Edmonton -0.5 first period. And Hurts anytime. Touchdown. J Main says, yo, what's up, gang? The biggest jewel says, I tried waiting, but I haven't got to head out to the casino. My plays tonight are UConn -32.5 for the biggest jewel. Okay. Let's get right to business. I say that now we're underway with business, but I also have to make sure that they changed a setting again here in the Lakes, Delaware State, +5. I'm going to give you guys right off the hop, the Nashville Predators. I am not fucking around with these New York Rangers at this point. And you know, first and foremost, they're winless at home, meaning they have not won a game at home. They went to overtime. The only team they really scored on were the San Jose Sharks. So at this price tag, what are the Nashville Predators just going to roll over? You don't think that this is like when I talk about teams going into Toronto to play at the old Air Canada Center? They get fired up to play at Madison Square Garden. Igor Shesterkin, Yusei Saros, 5-5-3 is Yusei Saros, 2.88 goals against average. There's going to be a problem with the amount of usage that this guy's taken early in the season. And they're on a 2-game losing streak. And I think that's why this line's a little ballooned on the Nashville Predator side of things, because there's no way these Rangers should be sitting in the price tag that they are right now. Winless at home. Now, when I talked to you guys about the Kings the other day, and I said they're winless at home, that should change. The metrics, the exact expected goals, the high scoring opportunity, all of those things pointed in that direction. I think these guys are beaten and deflated. Rangers, 6 goals in 7 home games. How are you going to go put $2 on them? You shouldn't. Stop it. Call somebody. That's not good. And look, 4-6-2 on the season. They play great at home, or they play great on the road. They don't play well at home. So I just think this is a defeated team that comes. Look, these fans boo. They're not afraid to get loud and angry. You know, Shesterkin's been playing well. I think a lower scoring game. I think an under's in store for this game. But for $1.70, I think what I get, $1.60, $1.54. I know it's moving, but the Sharps agree with me too. Very rarely do I look at the cash flow splits in hockey, but 16% of the bets, 54% of the cash. The Sharps are of the same mindset. You got to show me. You got to show me you deserve my money, New York Rangers, and you're not doing it at $1.90. Last year, you could argue shitty season for the Predators with the expectations of the acquisition of defensemen from Vegas Golden Knights, offensemen from Tampa Bay Lightning and Stamkos, and yet they were on the struggle bus all season. I put some money on them to make the playoffs because I had some faith. Now I'm looking at them going, hey, you know what? Take a shot. Let's see if they can get it done. Contrarian Road Dogs, the visiting team, regular season, priced up to a 190, 669 and 951. You know, you're saying, well, that's only 41% winning. That's not the 65% we look for. No. But in that dog price, you're up 7,800 units. 7,800 units over a 1,600 game sample size. So, yeah, we got to take some swings. This is a spot where we got to take the swings. They haven't shown us shit yet. And I'm going to swing on game number 2 as well. This one's a little pricey. It's a little bit of the flip side of the equation. And we've talked about this trend as well. The better team at home with the rest gets out there and screws. Ilya Sorokin starts for the New York Islanders. Jacob Markstrom starts for the New Jersey Devils. Markstrom's been struggling with a 3.95 goals against average. But a good offense can suffocate or stymie or wash away the sins of a shitty goaltender. And that's what's going on right now because the Devils are tied for top of the spot in the Eastern Conference. By the way, side note, speaking of placing the standings in the NHL, told you guys by Thanksgiving, the Flyers will be sitting there in a playoff spot and you're going to go, oh man, we have a chance. And then by February, you're like, what the fuck happened? Guess who's got the last playoff spot locked up in the Eastern Conference? It's them pesky little Flyers. Makes you want to puke, doesn't it? Anyhow, on the other side of things here, Markstrom gets a contract. They gave him the big dollars. Now, normally guys get the big dollars and they kind of roll over. No, not Markstrom. He started off the season shitty, 87.1 save percentage now. 87.1 now. 93.7 since he signed the big contract. See how my fingers are pointing up? Because he's pointing up. He's a buy. It's like a pitcher that got lit up in his first or second outing, and then they come back and they start firing. And that's what we're seeing right now. On the Islanders side of things here, yeah, got to respect Sorokin. They had a 5-0 win the other day. I'll take it. But Devils, unlike the Rangers, they are undefeated at home. Plus, we have the better team at home situation out there. Those are all buy-on spots for us. It's a little pricey, but the prices come down. Plus, the Islanders coming off a shootout. What happens after a team gives a shutout? Hopefully, they blew their load and they get shut out the next game. So that'll be game number 2 in the NHL. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What else got going on here in the chat? We're moving at a brisk pace. We're 2 games deep already. Luke Murphy's in the house. My friend Luke Murphy, esteemed author. Luke Murphy. Philadelphia over 1.5 rushing touchdowns plus 200. Blake M likes the Preds game under 5.5. I like that. I get down with that. Terry Davis says Fairfield plus 13. Sprinkle plus 700 on the money line. David Wallace says good luck, everyone. Ricky Levine says that's why I like the over. Rangers need these. Yeah, they need the first win. Nashville can score. They do score in bunches, don't they? Maybe it's too obvious. But they're not scoring at home. You know what it's like to go into a big, prestigious building like that? First of all, put yourself in their situation. Fans are booing at you. You can't win at home. You know how much of a pain in the dick it is in center day traffic to get to Madison Square Garden? My office when I worked in the city was right across the street. Literally right across the street from Madison Square Garden. So when we look down, you could see where like the buses and the cars and shit pulled in to that side gate. So we were up on I think it was the 24th floor, maybe something like that, 24th or 20, I can't remember, 24th or 28th floor. So we were looking over, the Madison Square Garden and the traffic, man. So you're a shitty team and you got to drive to work, dude. Like the whole time you're pissed at traffic. You're just not in a good headspace. And then you get there and fans start booing at you on top of it. Like, dude, check me out. Get me the fuck out of here. When's our next road trip? That's what I think happens with that, with that Ranger squad. Stop Joe says locking in Dallas. Goddard over 34.5 receiving yards. Chris Manriquez in the house. This is getting that bag. Let's go, my friend. Jerry Davis says going plus safe with Nashville +1. Okay. Stop Gio says, oh, it's primetime game. Pimp slap. Tick, tick, tick all motherfucking day. May even tick, tick, tick it. Stop Gio says at Pimp Slap POD at Sports Money. What up? Stop Gio. Make sure you guys do follow at Sports Money Network if you haven't done so already. And if you're checking us out on X, migrate on over to YouTube. I told you they've changed the algorithm to some degree. And Twitter's not pushing out YouTube as much. YouTube's not pushing out Twitter as much. So, and with only 16% subscribed to the push notifications from YouTube, if you haven't turned that bell on already, make sure you do. You never know when we're going to drop plays. I put them out there in the post. Sometimes I give out free ones. I give out free plays for the full community to celebrate and enjoy a spot that I think is a good look as well. So you never want to miss that action. Have your notifications turned on. And I'm notifying you guys that the Edmonton Oilers just set franchise history. One of the more distinguished teams in the NHL just set franchise history. Now, how do they recover? How do they respond? What was franchise history? The biggest margin of defeat on home ice was handed to them on Saturday. 9-1 final. 9-1 final. They're 1-4 in their last 5 games. They've lost to the likes of a Rangers team at home. They did beat Chicago 3-2. That was an overtime game. They did lose at St. Louis 3-2. They did lose at Dallas 4-3, and then they came back home and got thumped by the Colorado Avalanche. Now, you tell me, are the Oilers in a buy-on position? The Blue Jackets, on the other hand, 3 tough games in a row, 3 road games in a row. They lost at the Islanders, they lost at Calgary, they lost at Vancouver, but they're finding the back of the net. And a creative opportunity for us here. Well, looks like we have Stuart Skinner going again in goal. They said the teams have found, one of the most funny tweets that I saw over the weekend was somebody said, teams have finally figured out what Stuart Skinner's weakness is. Playing goal. That's how bad he's doing. 88.8% saving. He's 4-4-3. So, despite Connor McDavid and some of the likes of what they're doing out there, he only suffered 4 goals of the 9 on Saturday, and they put Calvin Pickard in. Now, I thought that I read that they were bringing their backup in, or they're giving a backup his first shot here at the show. So, man, it could get ugly. They get there fast. And I told you guys, they're on a losing streak, but they've been scoring goals. So the Oilers are 2-3-3 in their last 8. Greaves, probably a good spot to have Greaves in there because he's allowed 4 goals on 25 shots in that 5-1 loss to the Calgary Flames. They're 3-4 with this guy in goal, but 2.89. This gets to that tier of serviceable borderline bag of shit. And you've got really 2 guys with those particular numbers in play. And for me, the only way I looked at, not the only way, but a strong look to the over 6.5. It makes me a little nervous that it's coming down a little bit. I'll say that. I mean, everyone saw what happened with the Oilers. Is this an overreaction here? But Columbus has been one of those teams that can kind of play up to their competition. So I'm willing to take a chance. I'm willing to take a shot that the Oilers can, maybe this is a 4-3 game. Hopefully the Blue Jackets win. 12% of the bets, 40% of the cash on the Blue Jackets. Sometimes the Sharps just buy them numbers, Tell you one that does concern me. If you're looking at that Florida Panther spot, plus 105 is now plus 118, and you have 28% of the bets and 64% of the cash. That was one that stood. I don't normally look at it. I know I've said that. I don't want to speak out of both sides of my mouth, but worth noting in the previous 2 aforementioned dog spots, the bigger bets are buying the price, and they're not buying the price with them Florida Panthers. So do with that information what you will, guys. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. Shout out to Michael Johnson. He says, hockey money lines, tough. Every time I play them, I get roasted in overtime. Hammer says, is he worse than Hofer on St. Louis? That guy sucks. I don't think he is. You're right. That's a special category of suck. All for Hofer. Gualo's in the house. Irish King believes it's free money. Bill Siegfried says, sup, Mikey and Peeps. Mike, do you like Gibson? Detroit over fit wins at 16.5. On the season? Yeah, why not? I mean, I'd have to look at, obviously we don't know what weeks he's going to play, but my assessment on that, why not, is because Detroit had one of them score squads last year where their high probability scoring chances, like low slot, outside the angles where the goalie's got to get moving side to side, the high scoring opportunities were there, but they weren't executing against him. And they just added Patrick Kane back to the lineup, and they haven't really done much in the maneuvering of losses. They shredded some weight like Alex Leon to bring in a guy like Gibson. So yeah, I don't see why that's not a nice looking spot. Nasty Nate says the Eagles smash. Gualo says, J-Man, what you think of Rutgers first half over 60.5? Let's talk some college hoops. Let's keep her moving. Guys, I told you, the goal is to pick up the pace, move a little bit quicker so we can be done a little bit sooner. We got so many shows that get going between 7 and 8 o'clock now that selfishly, I just want to take a second. I just want to have a minute. Just a minute. Do whatever I do, whatever the fuck it is I do. Just stop talking for a minute. It's really what it comes down to. Sometimes I remember, man, when I first started, back in the day, like my jaw, dude. I used to get like lockjaw. I was like, fuck, dude. Talking too much, talking too fast. Frankly, slowly adapted here, but I got some great intersecting trends, and we're back, baby. UNC Wilmington was one of our squads last year. They're playing Kent State this week. 1-1. Be the Golden Flashes. +3. Wilmington, 58% of the bets, 64% of the cash have come in on Kent State. They are 1-1. 163.5 has come down to 156.5. And you have 74% of the bets and 74% of the cash. Some people don't believe in these analytics. I do. I heard some joker today. I can't stand this one fucking guy. Heard him talking today. He's like, you just don't know when they were last refreshed. Dummy, if you have the screen up, you'll see reds and greens. They're updating all the time. It's real-time updates. As long as the API is feeding it in. The only one I don't believe is real-time is Caesars. But this is aggregate information. I'd challenge anybody. Anybody that doesn't believe in this stuff yet. What are you doing? Are you making decisions in the dark? You don't go out and put your shorts on and a t-shirt if it's supposed to have a foot of snow. Unless you're me and you got snow below the driveway. You got to look at the outside resources and information to help you make some informed betting decisions. And this might very well be a candidate for wrong team favored. Everybody I heard today likes Kent State. Everybody. The fucking planet aligned and said, this is a Kent State spot. I'm going to tell you why I disagree. Now, granted, early in the season. But these non-con matches here, the MAC doesn't seem to match up well to some of these non-con teams, right? And here's the thing. Where's the draw if you're a MAC school? Well, if you're a kid that's got to go to a MAC school, it's because you weren't good enough to play for the Big Ten. That's it. So you got second-tier players. Now, if you're Wilmington, obviously, that's a little different story, right? Because UNC, I just watched Air the other day again. Great movie. Duke, that whole coastal belt of fucking excellence when it comes to basketball. However, it's like we used to have a hockey tournament. And when you played in that hockey tournament, it was like they had all the same years, right, together. Like the competition forces you to be better. So if you're a scrub playing in middle scumbag high school in fucking Ohio, maybe you're fortunate to get a couple dollars paid for by a MAC school like Ohio Bobcats or something like that, right? But when you're UNC Wilmington, like, man, them kids have been getting pushed around. Even they go to a summer camp, they go to a clinic, they do anything. The level of competition is just that much better, and it forces you to be better all across the board, or you're just not going to see the court. So as we look at it, as I look at it and evaluate these squads, I'll give you some intersecting zeros. We like intersecting zeros. Intersecting zeros are good. Fairfield. I'm sorry. Whoops. I don't know where that one came up. That's our next game. That's our next game. My bad. Forgot to put a space in between there. UNC Wilmington, 15-0. That's our spot, and it's back. When a team's averaging less than 48.3% shooting, the total's over 147.5. They're winning. They're stomping. They've won outright 4 times in that position. 4 times. Real simple. High total. Team doesn't shoot very well that they're playing against. Doesn't get much easier than that, does it? And check this one out. You're going to sell high on Kent State because they're 0-16. If the total's less than 164.5, they scored over 76 points the last game and more than 14 threes. Threes were hot. They were splashing everyone. Everyone's getting wet. They're 0-10 in those spots as a favorite as Kent State. And then, last but not least, if they overcover, they're 0-8. If the total's over 142, they won. They covered by more than 3.5 points. They're just losers. They're losers in those positions. North Carolina, Wilmington, 16 of 17 night games, won outright against non-ranked opponents. This is our squad. Get ready. Sports money. UNC Wilmington. Shout out to Justin McKelvey, says sports money is money. There we go. David thinks Green Bay is going to win. unless you're talking about college basketball, best rescind those tickets, my friend. We'll be talking about just how right Ramon Scott was this morning when he said Dallas Goedert's the best tight end in the league. Fairfield and Seton Hall is the spot that I wanted to talk to you guys about next in college hoops. Picking up a brisk pace. If you're just getting in here, you got to start getting in here sooner. Trying to get this thing moving. Like to be done. Want to be done. I got a spot in my head that says 6:45. 6:45. That way it gives everybody time to go get their bets in and get us situated so that we can reset and reassemble for the evening shows that we do. I'll be there. Will be no evening show tonight. Is it possible I just cut the inside of my finger when I slap my hands together? 12 and a half. It's like a paper cut. And I don't think I've really handled any paper today. 12 and a half have moved to 13 and a half on the Seton Hall side of things. 43% of the bets, but 46% of the cash have come in on them Seton Hall Pirates. Fairfield Red Stag on the other side here. 140 and a half has moved down to 137 and a half. 81% of the bets, 78% of the cash on the over. And we have reverse line movement. We have a 2-0, a perfect 2-0 to start the season, a perfect 2-0 at home. However, the Fairfield Stag are 2-0 against the spread. And yet a lofty number. Now, the last time they faced a lofty number was against Penn State. The season opener, they went on the road. They battled Penn State. Now, the thing was, the eye-opening part about that was the bigs. They got some tall mofos on that Fairfield side of things here. They lost that game 76-68, but they were getting 15 and a half points. Not horrible. Not a horrible performance. Then they played New Jersey Institute of Technology, and they fucking beat them down. They beat them down with their own fucking welding masks. 74-53. Seton Hall on the other side of things, battling. I don't know. They're going through the romper room schedule right now. They're going through the cupcakes. 77-50. They take down the St. Peter's Peacocks. Wagner, 68-61. I don't know. I mean, low-level schools. They didn't cover. But I think that's the opportunity that grants us, is that sell high, buy low. And Fairfield, if they're a dog of more than 1.5 on a total of less than 142.5. In other words, books think the game's going to go under. What do we like with our unders? We like favorites. And the Fairfield Stags have shown us just that. They're 0-7, rather. 7-0 to the under. Excuse me. Let me read my fucking notes. This Fairfield spot's like situated right in between a whole bunch. Anyhow, Fairfield 7-0 to the under in the dog roll of more than 1.5 on a total of less than 142.5. We think when they go under, the favorites tend to cover because the other team can't keep up. And we're in look, could they be underrated at 13.5 points? They got a good defense. I think the challenge will be on the interior. And again, they're big. Them Fairfield boys are big, but I think the interior will be too much for them to match up against. And I think this will be a good spot for us to get paid. We'll move on. Keeping her rolling. Not since the North fought the South has there been a bigger civil war going on than Western Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky as they play here tonight. The Battle of Kentucky, and it's the biggest one they've ever had. They're both coming in unbeaten. Unbelievable battle royale that's going to take place here tonight for this game. And we'll look at the numbers. We'll look at the recent performances. We'll break it into it and see if we can't come up with a winner in this one. I'm just kidding. I don't know if they've ever both met undefeated before, but the public feels the wrong dog was favored, or wrong team was favored. Because we started at +1.5 for Western Kentucky. They've now moved to -2s. And 51% of the bets and 53% of the cash have agreed, have pushed it in that direction. 163.5 moved to 164.5. 54% of the bets, 52% of the cash on this over. It has moved a point. Pretty lofty number. Western Kentucky starts out to an under. Eastern Kentucky hasn't played any lined games yet. It's crazy. They probably played Middle Scumbag Kentucky. I don't know. The Middle's Kentucky. I'm not sure if there's a Middle Kentucky or not, but on the other side of things, Western Kentucky did play. I mean, look, we got to look for some of these spots because they are potentially soft lines, but Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. Good old Tennessee Tech. But the line movement got him out of coverage. So I don't know. This is a tricky spot, just in full fairness. I don't know a ton about these squads. What I do know is there's some reason to want to be in on this over, and it's correlated with the line movement and locked in at a minus 105. When I was looking at him, intersecting zeros. We love intersecting zeros. The first one I love the most is the one when it's between the threes. When we're not sure, and look, we see the line flip-flopping, right? They started as a favorite, now they're a dog. But when Eastern Kentucky's between the threes, and they shot better than 34.5% that last game against the three, or from the three, they're 10-0 against the spread to the over. Makes sense. They shot well from three. They're not sure if they're going to win or not. So it's not supposed to be a blowout, beat down, knock down, drag out, shut them down, open up shop. And they're averaging 17.7 points to the over in those spots. Well over the number. Does this one get to 200? I don't think so. It's a pretty lofty number now, but I'm not scared of that point movement. Western Kentucky on the other side of things. They rolled 9-0 to the over. When they're favorites of less than 3.5 points, and they're playing against a team that shot better than 42% on average on the season, made over 22 shots. In other words, they're shooting at a higher volume and they're making the baskets count, which correlates with those Eastern Kentucky numbers. And they're going over by 13.8 points a game in those spots. So we got plenty of margin on our back pocket. It's a lofty number for a reason. If this was 148, I'd probably be a little concerned. But it's not. Let's see what you guys have to say here. We're flying through the board. We got 2 NBA games. We got 1 NFL game, and we'll get to it. Bill Siegfried says, sup, broadcaster of the year, Ramon. Big fan. He says, DJ Hardy says, what up, Justin? David says, Green Bay's going to win. Michael Johnson says, Irish King posted NHL play tonight. Nicholas Sandy says, Pistons games on Peacock. And Skunk Blaster's here, and the Skunk Blaster play of the day, Scumbag play of the day is in. He likes Delaware State plus 5.5. He likes the Dallas Mavericks plus 4.5. For the Skunt Blaster, play of the day. Our friend Skunt giving us the Skunt Bag play of the day. Bill Siegfried says, Maverick been taking it on the chin. What's wrong with Cooper Flag, man? I don't think he's going to be rookie of the year. They're putting him in the wrong spot. Jerry Davis says, Dan, me and Mikey are on opposite sides of college basketball. Under 141 on Seton Hall is my bigger bet, though. Okay. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it, Jerry. Justin shouting out DJ Harvey. Dana Delp says, sup, guys? What's up, Dana Delp? Scum Blaster says, Mavericks might win tonight. Big plus money spot. I sprinkled it also heavy on the plus 4.5. How's moved down? Move though now. It's like plus 2.5. Jerry Davis says, East Kentucky for me. Revenge spot. And the biggest battle since the North fought the South. Ricky Levine says, late play NHL Florida 22-5 against the spread as an underdog the last 2 years. DJ Hardy says, I do like your picks from this morning. Gualo. When was the show? He says, another show. He's talking about Ramon. 9 a.m. here. The morning steam. Gualo says that DJ Hardy. Same channel or different. Okay. I see what you guys are doing. Gooey McDougal says special updates. Packers receiver Matthew Golden out for tonight. I expected him out. Bill Siegfried says, not dogging. I can see it happen. Kid has to start playing well. Trippy thing is they put him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They put him at point guard. What the fuck are they doing? Blake M says Columbia's hanging with UConn. Fernando Mendoza says this Western Kentucky total is down to 162.5. Really? I slap it on the over. It's not for me. Let me double check. No, it is now. I see BetMGM has it there. So does FanDuel. Well, you guys are getting a better number than I. Okay. Let's move into the NBA. I just got 2 plays for you guys, and I got a player prop for you guys in the NBA. You want the player prop? Zoe Faye's in the house. He likes the name. All right. There it is. And it's moved to 26.5, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Donovan Mitchell on the Cleveland Cavaliers to get over 25.5 points was the early line this morning. It's 26.5 now. Let me double check and make sure that's the case, and that hasn't moved. I don't like to get them when they've moved like 2 or 3 points past the number, because they're usually pretty fucking sharp to begin with. But it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but I could see a situation where he puts up a 30 pack. So let me just look. Yeah, I'm good with 26.5. Minus 102 at FanDuel, minus 109 at, well, I don't know about Caesars. Minus 110 at BetMGM. Minus 115 at Fanatics, if they'll let you put any real money down on it. ESPN Bet, if they're still around, is plus 100. Minus 108 at DraftKings. So you got plenty of spots to get that 26.5. Our Canadian friends have Betano at minus 143 and 25.5. I'd take the 26.5 at that point. And highest total on the board, man. Look at this fucking score. 247.5 is what we're dealing with right now. Mitchell's been playing phenomenal. He scored over 25.5 points in 3 of his last 4 in 6 games this season. He's getting the job done, and they're coming back saying this thing's going to have 300 points scored like an all-star game. The Heat have allowed 118 points per game this season. They're not playing any defense, and the Cavaliers are averaging 121. The straw that stirs the drink is Mitchell. It's going to be difficult to stop this boy, and we're seeing it move in the right direction. So you're all right, Spider. I said I'm all right, Spider. Give me Spider to go out there and pick up the over 26.5 points. Game number 2 in the NBA. Oh, I was looking. I'm like, what am I? I was just staring at the screen trying to figure out where the play was, and I'm like, wait a minute, didn't I put it in already? All right, 7 p.m. First game on the card. I'm looking at the under. The under. Lakers and the Charlotte Hornets. And it's a real simple one. Under teams go under. And the Hornets, who are they? Who are they to pick up pace? They've been dealing with injuries to their key assets like LaMelo Ball. This line opened at 7.5. It's moved to 8.5. 82% of the bets and 83% of the cash are on the Lakers. The Lake Show. I don't want to be on the Lakers when the line's moving in their direction. 233.5 moved down to 230.5 with 83% of the bets and 81% of the cash. Here's a reflection of getting in on the Winnable app because I was able to get the 232.5, gave that out earlier today. But here we are. And I'd still take it. I'm still okay with it. And depending on the kind of cash you're laying down, the whole membership could pay for itself if it falls into that 230.5 to 232.5 range out there. The Hornets 1-3 to the under at home. Lakers are a perfect. Check this out. Lakers at home. Keep this in mind. 5-0 to the over. They're just 3-2 on the road, though. Considerably slowed down. The Hornets can't win. They're 1-4 in their last 5. They just finished games against the Pelicans and the Miami Heat. That aforementioned Heat that likes to go over. And all they did was score 108 points, and somehow it ended up under. The Hornets have themselves 5 straight unders in a row. Miles Bridges is probable. Colin Sexton is questionable. Everybody else is fucking load management. LeBron's out. Gabe Vincent's out. Jackson Hayes and Austin Reeves are questionable. I wouldn't take the Lakers in this spot. I just wouldn't take them as public moving towards them. It's too easy to want to fade this Hornets team. In fact, I can make a case the other side. But how about this? When the Hornets face an under team, it's gone under 11 straight times. Unders versus under team. If they just came off an under, the Charlotte Hornets must put their guard down. I don't know. They're 26-6 to the under. It's cashed 11 straight times. 11! I'm not getting in the way of that. With all those injuries and nobody wants to play on either team, this is an overlook spot as you look ahead. So, Casey Koenig says, Ramon, that's hilarious. Hopefully you don't have a Tyler Durden situation developing. If you wake up tomorrow with a bruise and you don't, what happened, Ramon? Ramon's in a fight club? First rule, Ramon. I see what he's saying. Ramon, come on. That's why we're on break for a couple days. Get a little rest. Stop you says, my bad. It's the score bet at Sports Money East. ESPN Bet is changing their name to that in December. Nasty Nate says Lakers second quarter. I read that they were out of business, and I was like, that was the one. I told you guys what I was going to do is I was going to try to take like the max deposit bonus and then just play it with you guys and show you like how I'm playing it with the max deposit bonus and see if we can make any money out of it. So I hadn't opened up the ESPN Bet account yet. And then when I read they were going out of business, I was like, shit, did I just miss the shot to do that? So I don't know. I don't know if I'll do that now or not, but I didn't hear great things about ESPN Bet. Didn't want to pay people out. I don't know. I don't know any of it to be true. So who am I to comment on hearsay, Ramon? And I got a parlay for you guys. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I got the Los Angeles Clippers. Full disclosure, I like the Atlanta Hawks in this game. But this comes down to me as one of those spots where it's like, team's so good at home, but their expectation against their actual results aren't happening yet. We're not seeing it happen yet. And on the other side of things, we just saw the Timberwolves. We were on them. They busted up the Utah Jazz in that NBA Cup game. So, Clippers at home. I just think we take this number right down. Look, the Jazz have lost 14 straight against teams with a winning record. So we'll go back to Minnesota. They dominated. They won by what? 30 points or something like that against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the NBA Cup game I think I only had them in the first half, sadly. Should have just laddered those. The Timberwolves did smash. But I think the Clippers can figure this one out tonight. I think 5 points. Just don't lose the game. This turns into plus money. And that's kind of where I like to do these plays here, where it's like, all right, we're not entirely sure Jazz should come back with some revenge, but, they sucked last year at home. They sucked in the preseason. They did get themselves off to a quick little start there, but they've since kind of fallen back to mediocrity. And Clippers are not covering the spread at home. They are 1-5 against the spread at home. But this is where we're saying we don't need to cover the spread. Matter of fact, the Clippers are 1-8 against the spread in 9 games on the season. It's pretty bad. They just lost to the Suns. Back to the Suns. Let this be a lesson for everybody that's like, oh, they play them twice in a row. That doesn't mean shit. They lost twice to them, 115-102 on the road, and then almost an identical score at home the 2 nights later. No rest or no games in between. Same team. They just got beat up twice. They had a tough schedule, though. They played that Miami Heat team that keeps a brisk pace. They did beat the Pelicans. They were 10.5-point favorites in that spot. So, in any event, I'll take the parlay. I think that's a good way for us to get some plus 105 action out of these 2 games where just not entirely sure I get what's going, not picking up what they're putting down. All right, and then the last game on the card is the Monday Night Football. Best intro in the game. This one, and enter Sandman. Virginia Tech on a Friday night. Get me jacked up. Sometimes if Virginia Tech's not playing until Saturday, I'll still go on Google and watch like a YouTube sleep with one eye open. All right, anyhow. Look, we all know it. Maybe you're just arguing it because you don't want to believe it, but the Eagles are the best team in football. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in football. Dallas Goedert's the best tight end in football. The defense is the best tight end in football. The turnover ratio for the Eagles offensively is the best in football. I mean, look, those are facts. Those are data points. Those aren't just my opinion. It's not just subjective. It's objective. And so now they're playing the Packers. Jordan Love has never beat the Packers. He's never beat the Packers. He's never beat the Eagles either. There's 2 teams Jordan Love's never beaten. This line opened at -1.5 for the Eagles. It's now +1.5. That was a look-ahead line. 77% of the bets, 75% of the cash are on the Eagles. 45.5s have oscillated around. You have 57% of the bets, but 77% of the cash. I won't tease a team down anymore. If you're looking at the teaser, I'd take the plus side and move it up to 7.5. I tease the over, 38.5. It's going to be cold in Green Bay. Expectations are mid-20s. Cold football. Real cold. But I don't know how much that's going to move. Now, some of these fucking jokers, I don't know if there's a prop bet or not. The Eagles to pull a tush push the first game of the season or the first play of the drive there to say, fuck you, Packers. I mean, stop that. Stop that. But they're coming in off a bye, the Eagles. They just beat the Giants 38-20. Dable gets fired. Tough on him. They beat the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. That was no problem, 28-22. And they avenged their loss to the Giants. So here's the thing that I've heard some narrative today. Just want to displace some of this narrative. Oh, the Eagles, Saquon Barkley's finally had a game. Their running game's been shit. Dude ran for over 2,000 yards last year. They want him deeper in the season. Roseman said so. They've got a guy in A.J. Brown, not entirely happy with his usage rate. And he was out last week. So when they had to change game plans and go to that running game, they saddled up the sled on the horse and they let him drag that team around the field. Success. Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown are the best 1-2 wide receiver combo in the NFL. It's not me. It's not subjective. It's fact. Now, in all fairness, Matthew Stafford got the most touchdown passes in the league this year. Got to give it to him. Did you know, I read this stat, that Josh Allen has tried more tush pushes than Jalen Hurts. So all this, it's just a hate for the Eagles that runs. So fuck the vitriol, the pure disgust and disdain for one of the best teams in sport is absolutely disgusting. Okay? Let's get that off the table right now. Now, player safety and protocols. Packers. Everybody's hurt all the time. They're soft. Absolutely soft. Jalen Hurts, their leader. Or Jalen Hurts. I keep doing that. Jordan Love. 0-2 against the Eagles. He battles himself with the injury report on a regular basis. Watson's should be in and Dobbs should be in. But obviously Kraft, that was their guy the other day. I mean, that's the guy. They've been riding that guy. And look, they broke him. Golden's out. Wicks is supposed to be out. That's a problem. On the other side of things, if you look at the Eagles, now they retooled their defense. They got blitzers. They got cornerbacks. They really were aggressive. There won't be any Jair Alexander. They decided to let him continue to heal up his knee, let him take time to learn the playbook so that he can be effective deeper in the season as well. Will this game make or break the Eagles? No, it won't. And you've heard Juergens is the starting center. He's out. Oh my God, he's out. He was out last week or the week before the bye week. So it's going to be okay. We're not in an issue there. Now, you want to look defensively. The Eagles were on fire against that New York Giants team. 5 sacks. If they come off of 5 sacks, they're 8-0 against the spread the following game. They're not just winning, they're covering by 15 points. Suggested beatdown. When the Eagles are between the threes, in other words, one of my favorite spots, we're not sure if they should be a dog or a favorite. They go out there and thump. They're 8-0 against the spread. They're covering the spread by 12.6 points a game. Suggested beatdown. Oh, that Saquon Barkley, is he hurt or is he not? They weren't using him. They want him later in the season. Him rushing 2,000 yards did nothing for his MVP status last year. They don't care. They want him late in the season. 6 inches of snow at Lincoln Financial Field in a playoff game against somebody like the Rams. That's where they want Saquon Barkley. But since you question it, 276 yards last week on the ground did the Eagles. Guess what happens after they've run for over 205 yards the previous game? They're 10-0 against the spread. Not only do they thump, they absolutely beat down. Pimp slap all around. 20 points a game are what they're winning those games by. At least 20 points a game in those spots out there. So, I'll bring the doll in tomorrow. We'll play psychiatrist, and you can point to the doll and show me where the Eagles hurt you. Because if you're betting against them today, you are in fucking trouble. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I got 1.5. You know, here's the best part about it. You see people are taking like the Packers money line. You know why they're doing it? They're giving out Packers Really what the hidden font, the hidden text, the invisible writing is ... in case they don't cover. But what have we seen? These spreads are very rarely mattering, and if dogs win, they end up winning outright. This one says the Eagles should win by 10. So we'll see what happens. Again, coming off the bye, there is that they should start out hot, and the Packers don't start out hot. So they should be a good candidate for the first half, but they're coming in with that potential rust. We've seen when they play the Packers, they get up early and they're running downhill at that point. You're standing on the tracks and the train is coming through. So 77% of the bets, 75% of the Eagles are a public situation. And you might be saying, well, the Eagles are too public. Guess what? The public got thumped this weekend. The biggest public spot was the Lions. The second biggest public spot, I believe, is the Eagles. And all the other public spots lost. So public wins sometimes, right? You guys know who you are that believe in that philosophy when you challenge the public versus the sharps. Now let's talk about Dallas Goedert, because the second coming, I literally think he turned water into wine. Over 3.5 receptions is a great prop for this guy. 36.5 receiving yards. Look, when a team runs hard and they're playing a team that doesn't run hard, that team that doesn't run hard better figure out a way to run hard. You got to match fire with fire. And in this case, when your tight end's out and Taylor Kraft, I think you got to go exploit that tight end weakness on the other side because it creates a mismatch. It's an advantage. Their number one is really a number 2 or a number 3. And we've already seen the Packers show vulnerability to the tight end. 7 receptions for 53 yards a game to the tight end. Over 3.5 receptions, over 36.5 receiving yards, all good spots for me. I don't think we see as much of a Saquon Barkley game. They've got AJ Brown back. I like Saquon Barkley under 18.5 receiving yards. He's gone under that number in 4 games. Packers, if they are strong somewhere defensively, it's probably against a passing running back type of game. And I'm not a big fan of the unders though, just so we're on full disclosure. And then the other one I would look at is probably Jalen Hurts to get out there and throw 225.5 passing yards. He's gone over 250 in 3 games. Everyone says, oh, but Jalen Hurts can't throw. Stop hating. The Packers allow 213 yards. That's 11th in the league. If the Eagles do fall behind, as a lot of people think, probably not going to run. They're probably going to pass the ball. So Hurts has gone over 225 in 3 of his last 4. Teams coming in. They're healthy. They're off the bye. Don't do it. And if you do, remember I told you how this game was going to play out and get down. So that's it, you guys. That's the way we're going to get after it. Jerry Davis likes the Eagles here. I think the Packers offense too injured. New York Giants worst run defense in the league. Yeah. Well. Top set in the house. He says Eagles fly today. Jerry agrees. Best intro of sports. There's smoke and mirrors. Stop it. Packers going to lose, he says. Flea Mathis in the house, you guys. Appreciate everybody joining us today. That's going to put the bow on the show. If you haven't done so, smack that thumbs up button, man. We need them likes. They've changed the algorithm. It's now more important than ever. We're going to take a couple days off. We're going to come back and be rested and recharged on Thursday. I hope you guys do the same. Unplug. Spend some time with that significant other, with them in-laws, with them kids, with whomever it is that you neglect when we go live every single primetime game. Enjoy yourself for Monday Night Football. And I'll be back here tomorrow. Win or lose, we still going to go after it. We're going to recap it. We're going to give you guys our best bets every single day. Monday through Friday here at Pregaming. 9 a.m. You can catch my guy, Ramon Scott, with the morning steam. Until then, have a great night, everybody. Good luck with your bets. Bet responsibly and have fun tonight. Enjoy your Monday Night Football, Eagles.